It's Wednesday morning here in La La Land. La 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 La. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna make some coffee today. Oh yeah, I meant to get that chocolate, didn't I? So, these are 100% cacao, and they've not been opened since we brought them back from Colombia. 100% cacao little nibby nibs. They got a little smiley. Hey, can you see that? They got little smiley faces on them. Okay, we're gonna. Oh my God. No sugar. Wow. Oh, they smell really good. Oh boy. Okay. Oh my God. That is so bitter. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. No, that's gotta happen. That's gotta happen. Oh my God. Oh. I can't even swallow it. It's so bitter. I'm gonna take a sip of half and half. Oh my God. That helps me with a little bit. A couple of things. Number one, don't do that. There's no sugar in this at all. This is processed cacao. That is all this is. Wow. Ooh, so bitter. Which makes what we're about to do with it even more fun. Probably, I may need to use this larger cup. Let's get that all cleaned out here. I'm going to try to find a way, and I don't know if this is going to have enough going through it. There are those specialized, maybe you've seen them on TikTok and Instagram. There are those really fun specialized kind of discs that they put on top of coffee that actually have like a little maze that the super hot water will run through, and it will melt the chocolate, and the chocolate will kind of collapse and flow into the coffee. I think in this scenario, and I'll switch back to the little barrel here. In this scenario, and you know what? I'll just use the one that I bit into. We're going to see if we can get this dissolved into our roaming goat here. I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one, just the roaming goat. We're going to taste it. It's going to be great. This is an espresso blend. It is a medium. They say shortbread, hazelnut, and cocoa, which I think was... hazelnut's interesting. Shortbread, I don't know if you can find it, but cocoa is like the coffee flavor. So I'm going to put this in there. We're going to melt that. But first, we're going to do a normal with this. I don't know where these came from. They must have been something at some get-together sponsored event somewhere, and they came free. Someone asked, these little barrel-looking ones, they came from pudding. You had this aluminum top that you peeled back, and then it had like chocolate pudding, some kind of crunchy center or caramel center, and then more pudding at the bottom. Maybe like a cookie or something, or caramel or something like that. But these were little puddings, and it looks ridiculous, and it definitely doesn't look like that's enough pudding. However, it is actually enough pudding because it was a very rich pudding. It was very delicious. We've had these for a very long time. So if you're wondering, here's what the inside of that cocoa looks like. And honestly, the outside is kind of crumbling right now. So that'll be fun. I've been wanting to do that for a while. There's been so much other stuff going on. I haven't really had the time to put forth that effort. We're at 140, excuse me. So I'm going to rub this over the portafilter. I've got the spouted portafilter this time. The naked one, I think, is just going to be for special occasions, because it is definitely an interesting kind of trial and error device. I've cleaned this out. I've got it set to 20. further things that I have found with this DF64, it's a wonderful grinder to grind things, coffee, but this thing is incredibly stiff. And getting it, I mean, I'm never going to need to get it down to a 5 or less, but this thing is just really hard to turn. And it's kind of ridiculous like that. So I'm going to put it down to about a 17 here. I think I found that to be the best for a medium. I cleaned it out yesterday, took it apart. You know, it's just really strange because you get to a certain point and it gets really hard to turn. Nothing's grinding, so I don't think it's like a lubing issue. It's just really hard to turn. So we'll get there. We'll figure it out at some point. I mean, we don't have to. I can do it. It's just, I started working out again on Monday. I did a run and then I did my core stuff. But then yesterday I added arms, and now my chest muscles hurt. And my shoulders are weird. So there's a little oddness going on with the body now. So I don't know how old and how far gone is too old and too far gone to work out and make yourself feel better. That's heated up nicely. That will heat up, well, we can put a little water in there now to heat it up a smidge since this hasn't heated up all the way yet. Get the brew chamber warmed up, and that's something I should have done, but I'm talking and moving and walking and everything at the same time all at once. Mowers are out. We had a wonderful thunder rainstorm last night, so of course the mowers are out making ruts in everybody's yards. Just ongoing struggle for people in our situation, I guess. Can't sleep past 8 o'clock. You know, the first world problems that are home ownership. So, in a community that doesn't mow its own yard. So, I'm wondering how much longer that will last as old board members go out and new board. We've been here for 5 years. So, a lot of the board members that were elected to start with have moved out of their boardship, because I think the first president was elected and he wasn't president for 5 years, but he was president. He was in the board for 5 years, and he's graduated out and is now living his life. Let's get to the heart pumping stuff. Roaming Goat coffee roasters. This is a good coffee. This coffee almost has a buttery smell to it, which is really odd, but it's got like this fun buttery, almost toffee-like kind of complex smell to it, which is lovely. So we're going to first do normal by putting it in this cup. I mean, basically we're kind of testing the water right now because, you know, when I do this, I want it to be perfect. So basically, if everything goes well, there will be 2 espressos in my near future. I was cleaning this thing out yesterday. One of the beans was sitting whole on top of the blades. It was absolutely insane. So I let it live. All right, let's purge the system here. There we go. Squirt the rest of it out. Definitely my favorite shot from yesterday was the water coming out of just the water itself coming out of the system. I thought that was pretty good. And it seems like a really good way to purge the system as well. Coffee's not going to get up in it. However, it's going to dry. So when things dry out, if you're not careful, luckily we are working with really hot water, but at the same time, it's still a moisture-rich environment that we're working with here. So, you know, you could still get mold if you're not careful. If you're like away from it for a week, you know, you could get mold in it, which is not desirable. But we are working with extremely hot water, which can get rid of like a high percentage of the mold, like 75, 80% of the mold. I mean, you can put the coffee treatment tablets are for the water reservoirs in the electric ones. For this, it's probably something you could just like dissolve and then pass through it if you wanted to in order to sufficiently get that where you need it to. All right. I'm very pleased with this setup. Look at that. Wow. I'm very happy with that. Woo! Let's get this going, man. Let's get it going, man. You up here. Normal cup first. You're the test bunny. I probably ought to get a little GoPro. Maybe for the second run we'll get the GoPro. Hold it so we can maybe try to watch the chocolate dissolve. And I am definitely going to have to get a spoon. I need a small coffee spoon, don't I? I don't have any small coffee spoons. Actually, Aunt Kate may have given us some small spoons. So maybe look out for that tomorrow. If this works out really well, we may do it again tomorrow just for funsies. And I'll try to find that small spoon that's in that spoon set that she gave us. Well, that was given to us when she passed away. So, Aunt Kate. Okay, up we go. Give her a little squeeze. Do a little pre-infusion to the chamber for about 20 seconds. All right, back her up and bring it down. It looks so much better coming out of this spouted filter than it did coming out of that naked, which is frustrating. And you wonder, and I wonder, I guess, I wonder if there's some kind of additive they put into the coffee that they're passing through the naked in order to get itself a little bit more zhuzh, you know, because you see the fresh crema coming out. Then again, I say that, and I remember they're using a machine with a pump on it, which can do a lot more things than I can do just by hand here. And that's a little less water coming out than I would have liked. So we're gonna back it down. We're actually gonna go for a 20 for this. So, but that's, I mean, it's not bad. It's almost 30 grams. That's not horrible. I wouldn't kick it out of bed. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not bad at all. Let's do this again. We'll do this again. Let's purge our system here. As you do. Getting the rest of the water out. It was a little bit more bitter. I mean, it's because, you know, the goal is like 37. You want a 2-to-1. You want 17 grams of coffee to like 34 to 37 grams of coffee water coming out in your initial push. So that's the ideal. So fell a little short of that by a couple of grams, and it's interesting what a couple of grams will actually do when it comes to that stuff. Should be doing this quick enough to where I won't lose that much heat, and the water shouldn't have lost that much heat either. All right, so I can't put you away. I need to grind more beans. I guess I need a if I got a bigger block, to be honest with you, it would just mean that I'd have more stuff on it. So it's like madcap fun all the way around. The Roman Goat's really good. It's really good in a pour over, and it's also really tasty here. Well, I mean, it is an espresso blend, which is actually kind of cool. So I've got half of the, I don't know, would you call that a cacao nib or cocoa nib over there that I bit off way more than I should have chewed. Even if you liked dark chocolate, I don't think you would like that at all. It is incredibly bitter. Quite honestly, if I had to, out loud, there are zero redeeming qualities to eating it that way. That is definitely for making something. Baking, like baking chocolate, except baking chocolate also has a small amount of sugar in it. That is 100% no sugar added, processed. And by processed, I mean, the bean is, it goes through the motions of drying and then roasting and then going through the grinder multiple times, which is what I mean by processing. Because you say something's processed and you immediately put your nose up and it's like, ew, I don't want any processed chicken, that extruded chicken, that's kind of what you think of. It's not that at all. So, alrighty, on, in, underdone, overdone, done over. No, that's not how that goes. You can hear the mowers doing their thing. All right, to the main event. To the main event. Yeah, we can do it tomorrow. I'll be better prepared tomorrow. I'll just have the camera and I'll just film it. But right now, I just want to make sure that this is something that's going to work the way I dream it will. We're going to do this, and then we'll get our stuff in the Pyrex. Actually, I probably ought to do that right now, huh? We'll just put a little bit of half and half in there. Put it in the nuclear device. We'll cook it for about 45 seconds. And now, let us play. Come on. There you go. On. Up. I did back it down from a 17 to a 20. I guess backed it up from a 17 to a 20 so I could get more water to come through the coffee. The pressure's nice, but the damn timer didn't start. The pressure's nice, but you want more coffee, and it's a weird balance you have to put yourself through. There, should we start? Okay, and down, because you want, you want to get as much out of it as you can, but at the same time, you want the crema, which comes from pressure, and there's just a bunch of other factors, and we're going to hit it this time. That was the right setting again. We're going to get up above 30 this time. Pressure's still going down. We're still getting water out, so we hit 34, and I feel great. 33, 3.6, 3.9, 34.2. Very good. All right. So now I watch them do this kind of stuff, and it's always coffee first and then everything on top of it. So, all right. So here we go. We got our little cocoa chocolate thingy in there. It is melting. Sort of. I suppose I should have chopped it up. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll chop it up. Butter, if you ever want to melt butter in your microwave, best thing to do is to cut it into pieces. Don't just put a whole stick or half stick of butter in there. Cut that half stick of butter up into pieces. All right, I think see, there's just that little bit left in there, so I think we'll be okay by the time we get. But what does it taste? Mild, very mild. A nice dark, I hate dark chocolate, But when mixed with coffee, dark chocolate kind of shines for me. It's like a completely different thing. So I think that tastes absolutely lovely as far as coffee and that goes. All right, we are steaming. We are steaming, we are hot. So I do have a little bit more in here because I want, yeah, see, it even developed a little bit of a skin on top, which is fine. Skin stayed in there, actually, which is kind of nice. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to put her here flat on the table, give it a little bit more volume. There we go. Take our coffee and cacao, pour it into our cup. You can kind of see, look at the leavings. So, I mean, there's still grit to it. So it was processed, put through, but there's still grit to the cacao. So that's fascinating to me as well. Let us see. I'm going to stir this up. Still wouldn't mind having more. Then we'll put a little artistic interpretation on the top. It's an elephant. It's a rhino. It's a charmeleon. It's all of those things and more. But how does it taste? I'm really excited for this. The sweetness of the half and half. Here's where I get technical and try to sound smart. Behold, the cocoa mixes incredibly well with the half and half that was heated up. It's completely melted. The espresso is just that much bitterness to calm down the sweetness of the... See, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It tastes really great. You can taste the cocoa, you can taste the cacao, you can taste the espresso, and the half and half really just brings it all together into something that's almost like a hot chocolate with a shot of espresso in it. But it's really subtle. And you can even see, I don't know if you can see there's like layers. There's like a layer of foaminess right there, and then your coffee milk half and half at the bottom with the cacao. Oh, that's really nice. If I had friends over and we still had these nibs, I'd probably break them up and do the exact same thing 6 or 7 times, you know? See how well this goes over. This is not a pouring cup. Oh, not bad. There we go. Get a little more out of it. Don't waste it, man. That is delightful. Holy crap. We're actually moving into creating things, which is absolutely fantastico. Oh. It just makes you feel good. Makes me feel good. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. The frustrations from yesterday kind of blended away a little bit as I started editing everything together. The shots weren't bad. Everything went well. I kind of wish it was a little bit lit a little bit better, but there's not a whole heck of a lot I can really do about that. But the shots looked nice, and it was just that naked portafilter was disappointing, even with the knowledge that when you see that stuff on Instagram, A, like I said, it's the 30th take out of 60, and B, they're using a machine rather than using hand. The temperature stays more consistent, the pressure stays more consistent. They actually have a puck screen, which I could start using. I don't think that would make any difference because there's already a distribution system up there for the water, but the puck screen actually causes more pressure, which is generated by the machine, but it creates more pressure, which can create more crema to come through to start with. With this thing, it's already got a little shower head in the top of it, so that it just distributes the water properly. So anyway, excellent. How cool. This is really nice. Yeah, and that was what was that? About a half a cup? Yeah, it was about a half a cup of half and half that went in there. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll do this again. I'll have my other camera so we can try to see if we can watch the little... I couldn't see it dissolve because it's in coffee, for crying out loud. Of course, you're not going to be able to see it dissolve. But, you know, we'll get the other camera out just so you can see the level. And then, you know, we can also watch the pour as the half and half goes into the espresso. That's always fun to watch. It's like a cloud enveloping. It's like the lights enveloping a dark cloud. You know what I mean? So good. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.